Synopsis of Flannan Isle Bullet Points. The poem narrates the mysterious disappearance of 3 lighthouse keepers on Flannan Isle. A passing ship notices the lighthouse is dark and reports it. A rescue crew sails to investigate and arrives at the island on a bright winter morning. As they approach, they see eerie, large black birds that vanish suddenly. Upon reaching the lighthouse, they find the door ajar and a half-eaten meal on the table. The place is completely deserted. There is no sign of the 3 keepers. Despite an extensive search across the island, no traces of them are found. The poem references past tragedies at the lighthouse, including deaths and insanity. The rescuers are left haunted, standing in eerie silence, contemplating the fate of the missing men. Paragraph summary. Flannan Isle is a haunting poem about the real-life mystery of 3 lighthouse keepers who vanished without a trace in 1900. The poem follows a group of sailors who arrive at the island to investigate after a passing ship reports that the lighthouse is unlit. As they land, an eerie atmosphere surrounds them, with unnatural silence and strange black birds adding to the ominous mood. Inside the lighthouse, they find an untouched meal and an overturned chair, suggesting the men left in sudden distress. Despite searching every part of the island, they find no signs of the missing keepers. The poem also recalls past tragedies associated with the lighthouse, adding to its cursed reputation. The rescuers are left deeply unsettled, standing in silence, haunted by the unknown fate of the 3 men. The poem's chilling tone and unanswered questions make it a gripping mystery. Synopsis of the Inchcape Rock Bullet points. The poem written by Robert Southey is a cautionary tale about greed and karma. The Inchcape Rock, a dangerous reef near Scotland, was a threat to sailors. To prevent shipwrecks, the abbot of Aberbrothock installed a warning bell on the rock. The bell rang with the waves, warning sailors of the hidden danger. Sir Ralph the Rover, a wicked pirate, out of envy and malice, cut off the bell to cause mischief. He later set out on a voyage, plundering and amassing wealth. On his return journey, his ship encounters a storm, and without the warning bell, it crashes onto the Inchcape Rock. As his ship sinks, Sir Ralph hears a ghostly ringing symbolizing his punishment. The poem emphasizes the idea that evil deeds bring their own downfall. Paragraph summary. Robert Southey's The Inchcape Rock tells the story of Sir Ralph the Rover, a pirate whose greed and wickedness lead to his doom. The Inchcape Rock was a deadly hazard for sailors, but the kind-hearted abbot of Aberbrothock installed a warning bell that rang with the waves, saving many lives. Out of jealousy and mischief, Sir Ralph cuts off the bell, thinking it would lead to more shipwrecks. After a successful looting voyage, he returns, only to be caught in a storm. Without the warning bell, his ship crashes onto the very rock he tampered with. As his ship sinks, he hears a ghostly bell, symbolizing his own downfall. The poem highlights the theme of poetic justice. Those who commit wrongdoings will ultimately face the consequences of their actions. Synopsis of the listener's bullet points. The poem is a mysterious and eerie narrative about a traveler who arrives at a lonely, moonlit house in the forest. He knocks on the door, expecting someone to answer, but no one responds. Despite the silence, he senses unseen listeners inside the house, ghostly or supernatural beings. The traveler speaks, asking if his message has been delivered, hinting at a past promise or obligation. He feels a strange presence around him, but receives no reply. The atmosphere is tense, with descriptions of silence, shadows, and an abandoned house. Realizing no one will answer, he leaves, with his horse's hoofbeats fading into the distance. The poem remains open-ended, leaving the identity of the listeners and the traveler's purpose a mystery. Paragraph summary. Walter de la Mare's The Listeners is a haunting poem filled with mystery and suspense. A lone traveler arrives at a deserted house in the middle of the night, knocking repeatedly but receiving no response. Though no one answers, he feels the presence of unseen listeners inside. perhaps ghosts or spirits. He speaks as if delivering a message or fulfilling an old promise, but the silence remains unbroken. The setting is eerie, with imagery of a moonlit night, an abandoned house, and an overwhelming sense of the unknown. Eventually, realizing no one will answer, the traveler leaves, and the sound of his horse's hooves fades into the night. The poem's open-ended nature leaves readers wondering about the identity of the traveler, the mysterious listeners, and the secret behind his message.